There we go. All right. All right, y'all. I'm going to try to do this the best way I know how. I got one more strap to take off. I forgot. What I'm going to be doing. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Lead Farm 73 here. Guava, everybody. How y'all doing? Oh, I didn't title the doggone thing. Oh, my goodness. I'll do that later. What's going on? Happy whatever day this is, Thursday, whatever. Hey, everybody. I wanted to talk about two things today. Let's see who we got in here real quick. Wells 803 Garden, Bayou Girl, Gardener Tiff, how you doing? Super Bubbles, Key 350, how you doing? Mona Farms, how you doing? Let's see who we got. Um, Maria Cuban, how you doing? Talia, who else? We got Shawanda, Midnight Angel, Second Floor Gardens, what's going on? Nicole Akers, TLC in the Garden, what's going on, sister? Ina Stanley, how you doing? Gardening is my therapy. Rick Sean, how you doing? We got Michelle Law, Jerry King, the Movington 24, how you doing? Let's see what we got. I can't pronounce your name, and I never want to even try because I'm sorry, I can't. TLC, I appreciate you coming because you here all the time, but I'm not gonna try to mess up your name. Let's see. Brenda, how you doing? Mo, what's going on? Let's see. Southern Gigi, let's see who we got. Simply LaPortia, Ladybug, Sunny Day, Suzette LeBlanc, how you doing? What's going on, y'all? So, Larry Lane, what's up? Hey, so what I'm doing right now, I know Rim. Yeah, I gave it a shot. I'm gonna call you Rim if you don't mind. That's the only way I would like to acknowledge you. What's going on, Erica? All right, so what we doing today? I'm going to finish kind of talking about what I was talking about last night. If you watched my live stream last night, and yes, I was spreading the ranch dressing real thick because I needed to get my point across about people that keep making excuses on why they ain't doing the things that should make them sustainable. Now, I'm gonna say that. And the other thing I want to talk about is the title of this video is not posted, but I'm gonna tell you it. You better get your stuff before they make it illegal. We have at the very minimum of 3 more years, 3 more years of this administration and these frustrations and these new laws and regulations that's really basically making the average American, turning the average American into a criminal. And it's the truth. It's nothing I'm making up. Right now, the rules and the laws and the regulations that they're putting forward and stripping down and taking down, they're making regular, average Americans like me and you, turning us into basically felons, really. And every day it's a new law, it's a new rule. So I figure it like this: before they get me, I'm gonna get them. That's my way of thinking. Uh, how you doing, Daisy? And how I'm gonna do that is not by force, not by doing nothing crazy, but I'm gonna do my very, very best to keep as much money in my pocket as I possibly can. That's what I call fighting fire with fire. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I'm going to do everything. If you want to really, if you really want to fight this system, that's going to be the only way we can fight it. And that is keep your money in your pocket. And don't feel guilty about it, because if you think about it, look how they feel about us. Raising prices, price gouging, chemicals in our food, poisons in our food. If that's how they feel about us, what's wrong with us not giving you our money no more? Right? I don't see a problem with it. So, what's up, everybody? I want to tell you about this score. I just scored 6 of these 300-watt solar panels. And I got to go get I really got 6. So I got to go back and get 2 more. But I got 6 300-watt solar panels. So that's 1800 watts of pure solar. So I wanted to show y'all my solar array here that I finally figured it out what I was doing wrong. And I've been really studying these solar panels. And I've really been studying these solar power generators. So for the bulk of this tonight, what we're going to be talking about is how to live for free. And this is one of them. How you doing, Monica? One of the things we're going to be doing is how are we going to live for free? So we're going to do a quick little crash course on solar panels if you want to know. If you don't want to know, that's cool. But this is I've been putting this off all day. It's been raining, it's been hot, and these panels, I've never had panels this big. So they've been living off grid for 3 years. I've never had panels this big. And this is one of the reasons why I never wanted panels this big. They're fragile, they're big, they're heavy, and they're cumbersome. But say run 2 AC units off of solar. What do you mean by run 2 solar AC units off of solar? Mm. So I'm going to tell you one of the biggest things you need to. I'm trying to see if I could need to go in the tent and get that other generator for y'all. How many people got solar power generator? We talking about living for free, and this is one of the ways we're gonna do it. We're gonna talk about solar power. In the next by the end of this month, for the rest of May, we're gonna talk about electric vehicles. We're gonna talk about solar power. We're gonna talk about tents. We're gonna talk about everything we can talk about to get us away from paying them and making them richer. They're using their money to keep us down. That's what we're gonna be talking about. Okay. So, okay. How many people have solar power generators? If you have one, what kind do you have? You answer that while I grab this. Say working on getting solar generators and panels, then starting on my electric bike. Say my whole house ran off of solar 300 amp hours, 48-volt battery. Okay. Okay. I got you. Thank you for explaining that. Let's see. Your name is Earl or Ural? Led, I'm in these Cali deserts. I'm scared of being out here. Harbor Freight Predator. What you in the California desert? I'm scared of being out here. What you scared of? Okay, free spirit. You got a all powers. Ooh. C. Francis. Okay, you got an eco flow and a jackery. Let me put my glasses on. Stop squinting. Let's see. Arthur says eco flow solutions from science and solutions from science. I'm not familiar with them. K-Mac, EcoFlow Delta, I think it's called. I want another. TLC in the Garden, EcoFlow Delta Plus, Jackery, and Van Powers. Okay. Uh, Canadian Queen, I have two Jackery and two Blue Eddy. All right. Miss Virtual Girl, I have an EcoFlow, four of them. What kind of EcoFlow? Suzette Blanc says a Delta 2 Max, Delta 3 Max. Don't have panels yet. You don't have panels. Oh, hey, get your panels up. Wells 803 says, I have the Eco Flow for now. Definitely get one or two more soon. But what kind of Eco Flow do you have? What kind of Blue Eddies do you have? Because this is why the name you I hear a lot of reputable names, but you gotta know what you got. You gotta know what Blue Eddy you have. Like Rim says, my first one is a Blue Eddy EB150 and an Eco Flow Max and the EcoFlow Pro. I don't know what either one of those. You mean the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max and EcoFlow Delta Pro? Cause see those little words throw you off. You got to say them all, or it'll throw you off into something else. Let me see. Melanie says Jackery 3600. Okay, now we talking. 1000 in Vitamin 600. Now we talking. Okay, okay. How you doing, Auntie? Let's see. Angie says, I'm hesitant because I have so many trees. That's understandable. Mojo says, I got Delta 2 Max coming after a few months of Delta 2. Okay. Oh, you had a Delta. Okay, I got what you're saying. Let's see. Shamira Custom says two EcoFlow River 3 and a 5500 dual fuel champion. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I have Monica says I have a Rock Pal Freeman 600 but no panels. Okay. Uh, Rock Pals, Rock Pal, you might want to upgrade because they always had weird stuff going on, and I have a Rock Pals, and I was like, I will never show this to anybody. I will not suggest that to anybody. None of them. Steel building, 2 by 3 amp hour, lithium, 600 watts of panels. 3,000 watt inverter. Okay, you building a system. Okay, woo, let's get down to the bottom. So, hey, everybody. Okay, there's an extension cord that you can purchase so that you can set up your panels in the sun and still run to your battery station. Free Spirit, are you asking me or you're telling me? Say there is an extension cord that you can purchase so you can run your set panel in the sun and still run. Oh, you're talking to the person talk about some they have trees. If they're the reason I didn't tap in on the person that said they're reluctant to get panels because they have trees is because I kind of know what they mean. Like if they live in a spot with a lot of trees, it don't matter where you move them panels, they'll never get the right amount of sun to power what they got. I'm just guessing. I don't like doing that, but I'm gonna throw that out there because I'm trying to start today on a positive thing. Okay, so let me show you how big these panels are, and then we're gonna show you what they do. These mugs are huge. They are huge. Look at that. That's almost big as my trailer. My trailer is a 5x8. And I got to be careful. You don't really want to be dealing with these by yourself. They are huge. I'm not used to this, y'all, so please excuse me. Okay. I'm not used to dealing with them. Okay. I'm going to show you how big these mugs are. I'm not used to dealing with no panels this big. They about as big as me. They bigger than me. This panel is bigger than I am. Good God. This is why I have been slow to purchase bigger panels because they're huge. Say, okay, Canadian Queen led, if we run the cords from the outside, the solar panel into the house, please explain how so I don't burn my house down. Well, Canadian Queen, I legally can't tell you that. I know it's a lot of YouTubers. It's a lot of YouTubers telling you how to wire your house, how to run your wires into your house. I can't legally tell you that. Okay, they can risk their reputations and risk their freedom all they want to. But if I tell you how to do, people ask me how do I run my wood stove through. I can't legally tell you that. Okay, now just so we're clear, I'm not dissing you or anything. I'm just telling you those it's a lot of YouTubers out there telling you how to do stuff and they're not certified or licensed. And you follow them, the next thing you know, they got a lawsuit. And I know the reason I stopped doing that years ago, I know somebody that got sued for giving advice to somebody because they was just trying to help and they got sued for it. So when it comes to the legal ramifications of certain things I do, I don't go there. That's research that you have to go find, unfortunately, somewhere else. I would love to have to help you, but people these days, now I'm not saying it's you, but people these days, everybody looking for a paycheck. Everybody looking for an easy payday, and I don't want to be no part of that. Okay. Let me see. You said you're gonna drill a hole and plug it in your generator. You could do whatever you want to. That's your business. Let's see. TLC says yes. A lot of guidelines have changed, and content creators are limited to what they can say. Absolutely, because not only will can YouTube shut us down, but you can also be sued by viewers for that kind of stuff. When it comes to somebody getting hurt, you can, and anybody do however you want to do it, and you feel that you want to risk your family's life that way. Good luck. Okay. So I'm gonna show you all this real quick. I'm gonna bring you in as close as I can, because I want you to see this. Let me see. Okay, this is number one here. This is an MC4 connector. This is the first sign that you got you something. You got you something going on here. Okay, MC4 connectors is what we got on this panel. That's how you hook it up to your generator. Now, this is the part. Oh, okay. This is the part I want to talk about. Let me turn this. This is what I want to talk about right here. Your voltage. That's everything. Your voltage is everything. I'm telling you now. If you got the wrong voltage, and I'm gonna tell you which one to look for, the one that you really need to know about. Let me see. Can y'all see me? I mean, can y'all see the screen? Okay. Let me see. Can y'all see the screen? Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Nicole. All right. This is the one you should be looking for. Let me get a. This is the one you need to be paying attention to. Let me see. Right here. Your open circuit voltage. I know that that's backwards on this camera, but I can't do anything about that. Open circuit voltage, which is the VOC. Everybody keep wondering what the VOC is. Open circuit voltage. That means you have 39.76 volts before you plug anything up to it, meaning just how this is right here, okay? With the wires. Let me get this. Let me get this. With the wires just dangling and this panel facing towards the sun, this is pulling in 39.76 volts. Okay? Does everybody understand that? When this is not hooked up and this panel is facing the sun, it's pulling 39.76 volts. Do you understand that? If not, ask me a question. I'm ready. No, I can't spin my camera around uh because it's going to do the same thing. Just okay. You can look online and find these panels anywhere. It's just all up to how much you want to spend. But you can't just go. This is why we talking about this. You can't just go buying big giant 500-watt panels if your voltage is wrong for your solar power generator. Okay. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the operating voltage. I'm not even going to talk about that because this is the operating range, which is, once it's plugged into your generator, and this is how much it drops down to, is 32.4. But open is 39.76. Open means not connected to anything. Let me see. Say, all I would say is protect yourself from privacy invaders. Either way it go, they're going to try to make it seem as if one of the what? What are you talking about, real? I'm not sure what you talk about. Maybe it's something I missed. But listen, please, let's stay on this here, okay? Because then people start asking me questions like I ain't said nothing. They talk about everything else. I'm trying to help you do something that's important. Would you recommend a whole house backup or mobile solar setup? My answer to you is, why would you need a whole house backup? I'm not suggesting one or the other. I'm asking, why would you need that? Because clearly we talking about something else. Okay. So, um, oh, you said I know you're trying to learn, but you're asking what's on the market. So I'm asking an expert. Oh, I'm not an expert at all, not by a long stroke. I'm still learning. I just figured some stuff out today on uh, how to get more power out of my solar panels, and it's all about voltage. It's all about your solar setup, and it's all about your panels and the voltage. And I just cracked the code yesterday. But no, really, when it comes to what kind of panels and where you got them from, this is the part you got to learn first before you go to start buying all kind of stuff. This is the truth. The truth. Before you go to start buying all kind of stuff, because you'll buy one of these panels. You'll buy one of these. Do y'all want to quick layer farmers field trip? Let me get these panels off, and then we're going to do a quick layer farmer field trip. Okay. So hold tight. I gotta get these off. Oh, they so heavy. These mugs are so heavy. I'm not used to this at all. Hold on. We about to talk about it. And them mugs is heavy. I'm so used to throwing them 100 watt panels around. This takes some. This takes some real delicate work. Okay. One more. Let's see. That's 3. I'm gonna set the other one up somewhere else because we got 2 more coming. Then I'm gonna show you what this means. I'm gonna I'm gonna hang on to this one. Okay. Live from a field trip. I'm gonna hang on to that one panel so I can show you what I'm talking about. Any questions so far that I can see? See, this ain't a game for me. I know it's cute for a lot of people, but I have no choice but to take this seriously. TLC, I will only be looking at the 100 watt panels since they are small. I can't be moving anything that's taller than me. It's taller than me, and I'm 5'9", 5'10" ish. So how much did they cost? It don't matter how much they cost, because what I got them for is not what you probably going to get them for. You might get them cheaper. You might get them for more. You got to go shop around. I don't want to tell you a price and then you go back and say Lead was lying. That's not the price. I'm telling you, it don't work that way. It really don't. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to be straight up with y'all and realistic instead of, because you're going to have people giving you nonsensical questions. Answers. How are bigger solar panels more useful than whole house generators? How are bigger solar panels more useful than whole house generator? All right, hold on, because we need to talk about this. We really need to talk, all of us. We're going to have a powwow. Hold on a minute, because I see some real questions that need to be answered, or somebody gonna get hurt. Hold on. Hell, I could bring y'all in here. Come on, pup. Oh, you in here? Good girl. All right. Let's sit here for a minute while we talk about it instead of just running back outside. You see, I'm in the Zazanku, and it's all set up. Okay, let's talk. Because right here, I have an EcoFlow Delta 3. Okay. And to answer your question, will you be mounting the panels? If so, what will be the best use to mount them? Let's not even talk about that, because that's not even important right now. Okay. That's not important. If you don't know what you're doing, it don't matter where you mount them at. If you're about to blow your whole house up and electrocute yourself. Let's talk about the reality of it. Let's not talk about the fun part, because that's the fun part. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're buying, you're gonna set your house on. Listen, y'all. Okay. You know how I always say I don't like playing with words, right? So let's put it like this so you understand better. Solar. The word solar sounds cute. The word solar makes you feel safe. The word solar does not, when you say the word solar, you don't think of death. You don't think of it. Now let's change that word to high voltage electricity. Let's change the word solar to high voltage electricity. Ooh, it get a little scary now, don't it? It hit different now. So before we start talking about taking a road trip to California, let's learn how to drive first. Suzette, I do. If you plug the wrong things in, if you plug the wrong things in and plug them in the wrong way, it's it's like it's like sticking a fork in an electrical socket. You're gonna hurt yourself, and you're gonna catch everything on fire, and you're gonna end up making these batteries blow up. So that's why I'm just trying. This is why I stopped talking about solar, hooking it up and everything, because people think this is all glamorous, and it is and it ain't. right? It is and it ain't. It's cool. It's fun when you start knowing when you know how to do it. But I don't want you to ever think that you won't hurt yourself if you go in there all willy nilly, not knowing what you're doing. Now, for the person that asked me, Marcus says, if the sun is touching the panel, there's a live electricity flowing through it. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it does not have to be a lot of sun touching it. When I'm hooking up my panels, I turn them upside down. And sometimes you still getting electricity. Believe it or not, that light still will bounce up off of the grass, up underneath the panel, and still catch some light. I don't like hooking up electricity like that. I just don't. Okay. So the person that asked me, why is it better? I think they said, why is it? Let me go back. Because I don't wanna. Is there a way to test the panels to see if they work? Yes, take your solar power generator with you. And you can't do that unless you know what you're doing. Like which solar power generator are you going to take? Let me see. Let me get back to that question because that's. Let me see. Okay, you say how are bigger solar panels more useful than a whole house generator? Okay, I think your name. I can't pronounce your name. Kalila Miller. How are bigger solar panels better than a whole house generator? Now, you got to ask, I'm going to ask you, when you say a whole house generator, are you talking about a gasoline or propane generator or a whole house solar generator? We got to get that straightened out first before I even try to answer that. You asked how are bigger solar panels better than a whole house generator? And I want to answer that correctly, but I need to know when you say whole house generator, what do you mean? Gasoline, propane, natural gas generator, or are you talking about a solar generator? You said you got it. I got what? Oh, a solar whole house generator. It's bigger panels are not better than a solar power generator. Okay. Panels are the fuel for the solar generator. We need to get that straight. Okay. The panel, you're fine. You're fine. That's why I'm glad I wanted to answer that. The solar panels work hand in hand with the solar power generator. Okay. Without your panels, your solar power generator is not storing solar power. It's only storing AC power that you got it plugged into your house. So they work hand in hand. So I want you to get that, I want you to know that you really shouldn't have one without the other. Okay? So it's not better at all. The bigger the panels that you have, the more energy that you can harvest, meaning the more fuel that you can put in at a faster rate. Imagine let's imagine a gas generator. You need gasoline to go on a gas generator, right? Okay. You need the power of the sun, solar panels. That's the fuel for a solar generator. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the question you're asking and somebody else asked me earlier when it came to a whole house generator. Are they cool? Absolutely. They are. And yes, they work. Shh. The person asked me, should they get a whole house setup or a mobile setup? And you ain't going to like my answer, because my answer is going to be both. That's my answer. Say, okay, does the generator's capacity limit the amount of panels you can use? It, see, that's where it get a little tricky. It doesn't necessarily put a restriction on how many panels you can use. What it does is, the whatever type of solar power generator you have has a limited voltage. That's why I started this whole video off talking about voltage. Because if you don't know anything about voltage, let me show you right now. Okay, let's recap. In the beginning of this video, I said those 300-watt panels were 39.76 volts, right? Keep that in your head. Just say 40 volts. Just say 40 volts, all right, to make it so we ain't got to think. So let's say those 300-watt panels have 40 volts, okay? You look at your solar power generator, and I'm going to grab one right now. I had this hooked up to more things than I thought. Okay. So we're looking at the EcoFlow. We're looking at the EcoFlow Delta 3. Okay. This is about a little over 1,000 watt hours here. Okay. Now let's see how much solar can come in. Hold on. I know it's backwards to you, but let me see. I ain't got no light or nothing. Impressive. Okay. Okay. So this solar power generator can bring in 60 volts. That's very impressive for something only 1,000 watt hours. That's very impressive, because this is the same amount of voltage that my big EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 brings in. But I don't want to get off task. So you can't go over 60 volts or you'll burn this up. It does have safety protections, but you don't want to find out if they work. Okay? So if this can only bring in 60 volts, think, and each one of those solar panels are 40 volts, how many panels can I put in this without burning this 60 volt up? Remember, the panels are 40 volts. This can only bring in 60 volts. So how many of those solar panels can I hook up to this without burning it up? Absolutely, Queen. You can only, what's your name? Queen of another king. You can only use one of those panels because you do not want to overvolt it. Okay? 40 volts was the max on here. So now you can only use one panel. Now, now we're going to get a little funky, okay? You could only use one in parallel. So in parallel, I'm sorry, erase that. You can only use one in series, but you can use as many as you want in parallel. I know that sounds crazy. You don't know what that means, but I will make sure I link one of my videos of me telling you the difference and showing you the difference between series and parallel. So I have all of those panels. I have six 300-watt panels at 40 volts apiece, right? I can hook all of those panels up in parallel to this and not go over the 60 volts. But if you go in series, you can only use one panel. Okay, you got to really pay attention to the volts of your solar power generator. And what I just told you was called over paneling. As long as you don't exceed the voltage on this, you can put as many panels as you want to and bring in all that power. But remember, this has a maximum wattage of the maximum watts on this is probably going to be like, I'm gonna say 1,000 watts. Okay, I'm just guessing right off the top of my head. Mr. Eric says series versus parallel. One increased the wattage, one, but I have a that's going to confuse them. I got a really truly elementary breakdown of parallel versus, and I'm showing you step by step, and you can see how I'm hooking them up. A very elementary way of hooking up parallel panels and series, putting them in series. Because if we start just saying it with our mouth, it's going to get confusing. Because the panels I have out there, I have them in, I have them parallel in series. Well, I have them in series parallel. I have them both. The 100-watt panels out there, I have them in series, bringing each one of those up to about 45 volts. What is it? Each one was like 25. Just say up to, yeah, about 45 volts. So I put two in series up to 45 volts. And then I went in parallel. So each of those 100-watt panels, each is only two are connected together in series. And out of all of those panels, it's like two, 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 two. And each set of two I tied in parallel so I never go over the 60-volt limit. And see, I told you, when you start talking about it with your mouth, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? But when I'm doing it in my video, and I'm going to put the video and link it to this video. Okay, so at the end of this video, make sure you go and look at it, because I break it all the way down, and I'm showing you, I'm letting you see my hands move, and I'm letting you see all of the supplies and the wires that I'm using. I also have videos of how to make your own solar cables. Okay, so you don't have to go out necessarily and purchasing any. If you just have a small $20 kit, you can make your wire as long as you want to. You say so is that for overcast days? So what do you mean by is that for overcast days? I don't understand your question. Is what for overcast days? Because overcast days has nothing to do with anything we're talking about right now. So maybe I missed something. But I'm here tonight. Forget all the ranting and the raving. Tonight we about to try to figure something out. Overcast days will power still will Overcast days will have power stored in the battery. What do you mean by overcast days will have power stored in the battery? What's your name, Mr. Eric? What do you mean by overcast days will have power stored in the battery? Are you saying on overcast days you should have power stored in the batteries? No signs. Mr. Eric, clarify that for me so we can talk. No signs. Oh, you're saying so on overcast days you should have power stored in the batteries. Okay. So you don't. Okay. The only problem with that is your power only lasts so long. On overcast days, you still will be bringing in solar power, even on a cloudy, rainy day like today, but it just won't be at its maximum. TLC said panels will still charge even during the overcast days, just not good as sunny day. Absolutely. You're still going to get it, and you can't predict or you can't say I just need to keep power in my batteries, because what if it start raining for 2 weeks and you got gray skies for a week or two? You can't just say that it's not that simple. You're going to run out of power even if you're being very conservative on your watt usage. So that's the only time I say make sure that you have a good gas generator. If you really need this power really bad, if you have a medical condition or something where you need to keep your power going, that's when you really want to have that backup gas generator. And that's why I got it right here, EcoFlow dual fuel gas generator, which it can take gas or propane. So on those days you can hook the EcoFlow dual fuel smart generator. Here's one of them. Here's my older model. You can hook this right into this. So when this is low and it's on an overcast day, it's nothing and it's not bringing in that much solar, but you got stuff running in your house or in your cabin, this smart generator will notice that this is not bringing in any power, and it will automatically cut itself on like I think it just did. It will automatically cut itself on, and the gas generator will charge the solar generator. And then when it's full, it will cut off by itself without you. You don't even got to be around, and it does this, and they dance together like that. So the reason why we're talking about the solar panels is because with the gas crisis that we have going on right now, the reason why I went out and I felt it was an emergency to go purchase more panels, um, I felt it was an emergency to purchase more panels is because with this gas crisis that we're having, it's not going away anytime soon. Gas prices are not going to go down for years to come. So what we're living through right now, we might as well get used to it. And you can either get used to it and keep trying to pay for this gasoline, or you can start finding alternative renewable energy to replace the gasoline that you use every day. That's, I mean, I'm not paying for gas. So I love my dual fuel gas generators, but I don't want them to be kicking on every 5 minutes just because I'm low and it's a cloudy day. I need more panels. And when you get more panels, you need more battery storage. So I need more storage and I need more panels. Let's see. Queen says, Led, do you have to be the same model in order for it to work like that? No. None of my panels, all of my panels are about 4 different brands of solar panels. And want to hear something? None of them are EcoFlow. I have I have one EcoFlow solar panel, and that's it. Let's see. said you can also use a hybrid system with solar and wind turbines. Man, Mr. Eric, let me see something. I can't. Hey, Mr. Eric, bro, what are you talking about? I'm trying to be cool, but man, you keep throwing some curveballs, and it's kind of throwing me and everybody else off. When you start talking about wind power and hydropower and stuff like that, man, that is not realistic yet. You don't use both, man. That is not realistic. What kind of wind power are you using? So you're trying to tell me that you have a wind turbine that brings in significant amount of energy. I know. You, there is no a small system. Hey, bro, have a nice night, man. No, I'm gonna let you stay. I'm gonna let you stay, but I'm gonna ignore you because you talking crazy and you confusing people. All right, I'm gonna ask you to chill because you confusing people. Ain't nobody talking about camping, Mr. Eric. Everybody right now is talking about survival. Okay, and that little wind turbine, it ain't enough for camping either. Bro, you talking to a real one. I'm telling you. If you have a wind turbine, where's your wind stream coming from? And you out camping now. You out camping in the woods, or you out camping at a KOA campground. Where is all this wind coming from that's going to turn that propeller of that turbine enough to charge your solar power generator, even a 300-watt EcoFlow River 3? It, cut it out, bro. All of the wind turbines that they have on the market right now are trash, and you know it. You don't. The only way that you can catch you can kind of catch a positive um wind current enough to kind of bring in enough voltage and amperage to charge anything is your wind turbine has to be at least damn 30 to 50 feet up in the air because of the tree line. You have to pass the tree line first. Now, if you got to pass, take a pole up anywhere from 50 feet in the air, how are you stabilizing this 50-foot in the air pole? You need cables. So now you mean to tell me you setting up cables and pounding them into the ground and stabilizing this and hooking all of this up to charge a 300 watt or cut it out, man. And then, even if you were able to do everything impossible what I just told you, now you also have a problem with how high you can set this up, or is this place even regulated where you can do such a thing? Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me, because you could probably pull that on somebody else's channel, man, but trust and believe, I know what I'm talking about. All right? Don't do I knew you was a little different earlier on, man. I could smell y'all when y'all come out the woodworks. Yeah, roaches got a certain kind of smell when you go into the ghetto, and you had me raising the eyebrow day one. Okay, so just sit back in the background and just chill, just listen to what's going on, because I see people listening to you, and I also see that you're confusing them. So I'm going to ask you to stop, okay? Because you don't know what you're talking about. You talking about theoretical bullshit. We ain't doing that tonight. All right. All right. Shame says, what's your name? Shame says, Mr. Led, what do I need to get started? I don't know your situation. This isn't a one size fits all situation. That's like me telling you what kind of clothes you need to wear to work. I don't know what job you have. I don't know what the job requirements are. If you work construction and I told you to go wear a ballerina tutu, you would be like, that's not going to work. Me trying to tell you what's a good thing to start out with is that critical. I don't know your situation. All of these solar power generators and all of these solar panels are pretty much custom fit to you and your lifestyle. If you were living off grid, like if you was off grid, like, okay, let me try. I'm gonna try to help you, okay? Without knowing you, how many watts do you need to power? That's not a one size fits all question. I'm gonna try my hardest to answer y'all. Okay. I don't know what lifestyle you have. Um, I don't know your lifestyle. I don't know what's your energy, how much energy you use every day. I don't know if do you need to run a hair dryer for a good half hour to an hour doing your hair. I don't know if you're on any kind of medical devices. All of that stuff really counts when you start to add up. How much energy do you use every day? And the closest thing that I can get to tell you is if you're paying on grid electricity bill, look at your bill, and your bill is going to give you a statement that tells you how many kilowatts you use in that month. Okay. In that month, you're going to see that you use, let's just say 10 kilowatt hours. I mean, 10,000 watt hours that you used. Okay. So now, if you've been living normally and you were able to live normally without thinking or cutting any corners, and you were doing just fine with 10 kilowatts a month, now you need to say, okay, if I'm going to live off grid, I need something that's going to give me about 10, be able to provide me 10 kilowatts of power for 30 days. So off grid is a little different. So if you're in the city and you're in your house and you only need 10,000 kilowatts a month, off grid at least double it. Okay? If you go off grid, you just get some land. In the city you only need 10 kilowatts. Well, off grid you at least need 20 kilowatts. And this is why. Because believe it or not, you're running more things when you're off grid. You need to run a well pump for your water. You need to run your refrigerator and your freezer and different kind of things to keep you out here. You're gonna need a some sort of air conditioning, and if you don't have a wood stove, you're gonna need some kind of way to heat your shelter. So all of that stuff is gonna need more. And the other reason why I say bump it up double, at least double, is because now you're solely depending on solar power. And if you're solely depending on solar power energy, every day ain't going to be a beautiful, bright, sunny day. So you're going to want to think above and beyond what your city needs are. Because your city needs is on grid. You're going to always have power. But when you live out here off grid or something, you're going to need to start thinking about, okay, it's going to be raining for the next 3 days. It's going to be cloudy for the next 3 days. I will have very, very little um, incoming power generated from the sun. So now I'm either going to have to cut corners or I need a bigger solar array, meaning I need more batteries for more storage and I need more solar panels to bring in more power faster to fill these. Basically, the solar panels and the sun, that's your gasoline, that's your fuel, and your battery storage, that's your gas tank, that's your fuel tank. That's where the fuel is stored, and your house is the vehicle. That's what's burning the fuel. Okay? So the bigger gas tank you got, the longer you can go, the further you can live, further you can drive, right? Have you ever, how many people, how many people ever been to a gas station and the gas station trickles the gas out? So you'll be standing there for dang on 20 minutes trying to pump $10 worth of gas. Have you ever been to one of those gas stations? Okay. But have you also ever been to a gas station where you got to be careful with this gas pump because it shoots the gas out so fast then it'll splash back on you. Okay. I know this sounds crazy, but it's the truth. You know you got to be careful with that gas pump that's going to splash back, but you would prefer that one and be wise in watching it over that little trickle one that's going to have you late for work. Okay. That's exactly how you want your solar panels. You want as many solar panels as you can get that with the most wattage, because you want as much of the sunlight, the fuel, to go into your fuel tank, which is your batteries, as fast as possible. So if you got a trickling solar array, meaning, let's just say you got a big fuel tank, you got a lot of batteries, but you only got one 100-watt panel, it's going to take you like 30 days to fill all them batteries up. I don't care if every single day is beautiful, bright, and sunny. And another thing you want to watch out for is the solar panels. The solar panels are very finicky when it comes to heat. When they heat up, they don't bring in as much power. When they cool off, they don't bring as much power. Then the other part is you got to keep the solar panels cleaned off, because if they get leaves, dirt, dust, animals laying on them, uh, they don't bring in any energy. So mounting, for the people that was asking me where am I going to mount them, you got to think about, if you're going to be mounting solar panels on the roof of your house, if you have no way to get up there to keep your panels clean, you're going to have a serious problem. You will have a 500-watt solar panel, but you're only bringing in 50 watts. That's because your solar panel on your roof is covered in pollen and tree sap. You have a perfectly good panel on your rooftop, but it's filthy. You got bird poop, tree sap, pollen, it won't ever be efficient enough to do anything for you. So I am against putting panels on the roof of a house. And if you have roof problems, that's going to cause a big major problem if you have a problem with your roof, because the roofers want to remove your panels first before, and you got to pay somebody to remove these panels, because the roofers don't do that. Now the other problem you're going to have is the company that you purchase your system from, they may not even be in business anymore. And if you're doing it all yourself, you're not going to want to get on top of the roof on a piping hot summer day to go take off like 15, 20 solar panels. So if you got a leaky roof, this is nothing you can just sit here and wait for. You got to get those panels removed just so the people can come in and fix your leaking roof. So I'm against putting panels on top of a house roof. Now, if you want to put them on top of your shed, your dog house, or you set up some kind of little rack for your panels, which I plan on doing, do it. That's great. Matter of fact, let's leave up out of here and catch some of this light. What did I need this for? Uh, I'm gonna leave this in here. Come on, pup. All right, it's getting dark. Let me zip this up. Come on. Okay. Come on, baby. Go, 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 puppy, go, go, puppy, go, go, puppy, go. So I'm gonna go lay down this other solar panel so the wind don't catch it and break it. I thought I was gonna need this. See, I built two solar stands for my panel. Okay, now I can you, see you better. Yeah, it was getting too dark in the tent. Let's get this last panel laid down. And I'm gonna go tomorrow and pick up my last two. So I have 3 right there, and I'm gonna put 1 right here, and the other 2 tomorrow I'm gonna put here, and I'm gonna link them in parallel because it's too much voltage. Okay, we good now. So let me get my chair. It's gonna get dark real quick here, and I don't plan on being on longer. If I'm on any longer, we'll just go in the house. Okay. Any questions? Come on, pup. Come on. Ask my girl. Come on. Okay. That's another thing. Even if you place them on the ground, y'all better make sure they are secure. Wind will pick them up. That's true. All right. What's going on, Dave Busby? What's up, man? That was you. Okay. Any other questions, y'all? I'm just showing you that I'm not playing. And the rest of some of mine is over there. Some here. Oh, here go bats. Come on, pup. That's it for us. I'm not doing no bats. Come on, baby. Let's go. Okay. We got to go in. It's the bewitching hour. And I'm about to answer your question. I don't mess with no bats, man. You don't know when they foaming at the mouth. Hold on, y'all. Put on some lights. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I had to cut my lights on. All right. Now that we are in some lights, we got some lighting. Now let me finish answering these questions. And I'm sorry to go on, but what I wanted to do was really answer some real questions. And I want to talk about the reality of the situation instead of this fantasy football crap that we do, because it's coming down. Listen, how many solar panels can you hook to one battery? I just explained that. Yeah, you say she ran like she know the deal because she do. I think she know when I get a little nervous, she can feel it. Your bats are the street lights. Okay, Creative Mary Mac. That's the one I saw. You say different panels. You're asking this question. Different panels don't matter as long as it's the same wattage. No. No, not at all. No. They don't have to be the same wattage. They have to be equal voltage. That's a good question. No, because I got 20 100-watt panels out there, and I have right now I got 4 300-watt panels. Okay, this is getting a little advanced, just a little bit. What you have to do if 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 you have a panel, my 300-watt panel is 40 volts. Okay, just keep this in your head. Write it down if you have to. The 300-watt panel is uh is 40 volts. Each of my 100-watt panels, each one of the 100-watt panels are only 22 volts. So we'll say 20 volts to make it even. Okay. So if my 300-watt panel is if my 300-watt panel is 40 volts and each one of my 100-watt panels are 20 volts, I need to match that voltage. So how many 100-watt panels do I need to connect in parallel to get 40 volts? Because I want these two 20-volt 100-watt panels to match the voltage on the 300-watt panel, which is 40 volts. So how many 100 watts do I need? I need two panels because each one is 20 volts. That's going to equal up to this 40-volt panel, right? And remember, our solar power generator, we do not want to exceed 60 volts. So I'm connecting two 100-watt panels together to get as close to the 40-watt as I possibly can. Okay, I'm not going to confuse you saying we could probably do 3 because I don't try to push the envelope because sometimes them things surge. So we're going to hook up all my panels out there are connected in series in sets of 2. And then I connect another set of 2 in parallel with this one. So I never exceed 40 volts. Okay. Let me see. Yep, everybody got it right. 2 panels. 2 panels. Okay. So it's not the wattage. The only thing you need to be concerned with is the voltage and the amps, because volts times amps equals your watts. You ain't even worried about that. It's the volts that's going to burn up your device. Okay. For instance, uh, perfect example. Perfect example. Say this is 300 watts. This take 300 watts, right? 300 watt hours. I mean, no, this is 300 watts. Let's just say that. Can I hook that 300 watt panel out there into this just because it says it's 300 watts? Just because this says 300 watts, can I hook that 300 watt panel into it? That's right, my Renaissance grandma. Absolutely. No, you cannot hook that into this. Now, what you have to do is find out what's the voltage on here. And let's find out what would happen. This says the DC input on here is only 19 volts. Think about it. It's only 19 volts. Those 300 watt panels out there are 40 volts. You would have blew this out of the doggone stratosphere. You couldn't even hook, you really couldn't hook one of those 20-watt panels on here. Because if you hook one, I'm sorry, you couldn't even hook one of those 20-volt panels on here because this is only 19 volts. It will only accept 19 volts. So you will still fry it. So you have to find something, which they do have, like a 100-watt panel that's 18 volts. So outside, I do have two 100-watt panels that are 18 volts apiece. I can use those on here in parallel to bring in 200 watts, but this ain't gonna bring that in. This is really old, so that's a whole nother ball game. We ain't even gonna get into that, okay? Because I don't even think they make generators like this that only can bring in like 20 watts at a time or something like that. So your wattage is not what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on the voltage, your volts and your amps, because amps times volts equals your wattage. Only focus on the volts. Forget the word watts when you talk about panels. Only focus in every solar panel. Seems like I got one around here. Maybe I'm thinking about my house. Every solar panel should have on it somewhere the open volts, the running volts, the maximum volts, and the amperage. It should. I know Harbor Freights don't, and that freaks me out. So I had to get with the manufacturer. But hey, Grumble Hudson, how you doing, sister? TLC says that one came with a 60-watt panel. Right. This little Jackery 250 came with like a, what'd you say, a 60-watt panel, something like that. Yeah, little rinky dink thing. Now, I want to talk about the reason why I'm doing this tonight. Why am I talking about solar power in depth? Especially when I said I'm not going to talk about it no more because people don't take it seriously. I haven't left here, so I don't know what gas prices are around the country right now. The last time I put $20 in my tank about two days ago, whatever it's been, it was at $4.20. I'm scared to leave out right now. So I still got my Spider-Man pajamas on. Say, do you think a 110-volt battery can power an average size refrigerator? Yeah. The question is, for how long? It's not going to power very long because you have surges. During your surges, depending on what refrigerator that you have, your refrigerator, when your compressor is running, your refrigerator might start using 900 watts for the next 10 minutes. And then it'll go down to nothing or just using 20 or 30 watts or whatever. But if your let me put it to you like this. Here you go right here. Let's just say this can run my coffee maker. This is 200, let's just say this is 300 watts. This can I can use my coffee machine on this. Cut my coffee maker on. Will I be able to brew a whole pot of coffee, 12 cups of coffee, a pot? And the coffee maker is using 1100 watts. And it's going to take anywhere from about 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes to brew that pot of coffee. So you got 300 watts you dealing with, and it's draining 1,000 watts. It's not gonna work. You'll probably be able to brew maybe 8 ounces or 4 cups of coffee. So when that refrigerator kicks on, if you don't have enough power to sustain it, See, it's fine and dandy when the compressor cuts off, but the compressor takes a lot of energy. Even though it's for short bursts of time, it still takes a lot of energy. So I'm trying to be more serious about this situation because it's people out here that don't know anything about this solar movement. And I said this probably 8 years ago and ain't never said nothing yet. What are you talking about, Mark? Oh yeah, let me get off of that. Um, Here's the deal. Uh, so you tried it during a winter storm. Okay. Mickey says I had to buy a new power station that charges faster, and that old than the older model station. Absolutely. TLC says that was the issue with the my power station plus back in the day. Your Go Power Plus, I think you'd be, and the people frying them. Absolutely. Because people were trying to hook refrigerators and freezers and electric heaters up to a 100-watt little generator that's out in my trailer right now. And I kept telling them, stop doing that. Even way back then. And they was frying them. They was like, lead, these is junk. I kept telling them, this ain't what this is for. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all think you can do this stuff with a 100-watt little generator that takes about 4 hours to fully charge a 100-watt generator? Grown Hudson says yes. It took like half my power with the 2,000-watt EcoFlow. Absolute. So that's another reason. Most of the time when I'm brewing coffee, I just cook it on the stove or cook it on the grill and do cowboy coffee instead of wasting my energy. Today was a cloudy, rainy day. So I did not use my coffee maker because I did not have a surplus of energy and I knew the sun would not be out today. So I made cowboy coffee. Start a fire, make your coffee that way. If you got to have it, because it will take all of your power trying to do dumb stuff. Now, here's another one that'll get you. Um, if you got fans in your house and it's hot, you better use your fans before you use your air conditioner. Because this air conditioner is 15,000 BTUs and it uses 925 watts. If you have a 1,000 watt hour generator, meaning it only stores 1,000 watts. That's 1 hour of power. If something is using 1,000 watts, that's using almost 1,000 watts. So if you have a 1,000 watt hour solar power generator, you can probably run that for 1 hour, which is stupid. Unless you having a heat stroke and you need it on. Okay. So absolutely. So now is what I'm talking about when it comes to building your solar array bigger. And now with the new latest technologies, there are ways that if you have a 1,000 watt hour like solar power generator, if you now purchase the sideline alternator charger that costs you something like $60, man, you can go and start throwing batteries on your Delta. You don't need all of the fancy stuff anymore. They've bypassed the stuff where if you do it right, man, you could have 5,000 watt hours connected onto your 1,000 watt hour Delta 3. So, okay, let me see. So you can't use power for convenience with generator, just for necessities without going over the watts and volts. Absolutely. So, when I get hot, let me show. Right now, it's hot outside. Can y'all hear that? I got a big box fan right here. I got a window fan in the window. I'm not using that, using up my juice. You charge these on a day when it's good, right? When the day is nice, you bringing in all kind of solar. I charge everything. On a good sunny day, I'm running back and forth, connecting everything, charging up all my extra batteries, charging up everything because I can use this instead of running my big fan. My big fan that I just showed you here, when it's on high, uses like 95 watts, right? That's 95 watts that you're spending. Having solar off grid is the equivalent of having cash in your pocket. When you're in the city and you're on the grid and you don't care about how much power you're wasting, that's like having a credit card. You just keep spending that credit card, pulling that credit card out until it say decline. You don't care. But when you got cash in your pocket, you count that cash every day. Every time you touch your wallet, you count your cash to see how much you got left. Like, ooh, that's right. I spent $1. So that means I only got $2 left. Yada, yada, yada. So when you're dealing with solar power, you're constantly counting how much power you're using. Should I? Just like with cash, like, is this necessary? Should I do it? Let's see. Liz says, what do I need to connect the generator to charge the batteries when needed? You can do a couple different things. If you don't have a solar power generator already, if you have a solar power generator, you can get this device called a alternator charger. But for the most part, what people do with these batteries is they buy a battery charger. You go to the big box store, buy a normal car battery charger, and hook those to your batteries, and that's your battery bank. Now, when we start really talking about building a system, I don't like getting into that because people get confused. Now you can pick and play and pick and pay however you want to now. Once you start building your own system, it ain't gonna save you no money, but it will be to your specs of what you need for your situation, your living condition. It will be just for you. Big Bad Bo says I got electric bill today down to 100 from 380 with my setup. Congratulations. But Liz, yeah, just I don't know what your system is or how it's configured, but you could always use a battery charger to charge your batteries if they're just separate and use them however you need to use them. Mark says, okay, and you say our ancestors didn't need fans, but it does help you mentally. And Mark, I gotta correct you, bro. Our ancestors did use fans. Our ancestors did use fans. That's number one. And number two, we're not our ancestors. See, that's why they're our ancestors because they was built different. All of the people walking around today, bro, you can't handle it. We can't. The way, man. Look, listen. This generation alone, in the last 2 or 3 generations, all they know is air conditioning. You come out the heat into air conditioning. They don't know anything different. We're not our ancestors, so we can't keep saying that. We can't keep saying what our ancestors did, what our ancestor did, what our ancestor did, because we can't handle it. We can't. Nobody is mentally or physically ready to handle what it feels like not to have a fan, not to have air conditioning, or rationing food and rationing water. So, honestly, it's going to be a lot of people. It ain't going to be that they won't have supplies. You got to be kidding me. Hold on a minute. All right. All right. Oh, that ain't too much better, is it? Here we go. I forgot I got my system set. See what I tell you? I got my system set to to cut off because I'm conserving energy, and the only way I can fix it right now is to go into this app and fix it. Now I'm not gonna get off here, so it must be like 9 o'clock. See that? So, uh, no, I didn't use all my battery. No, what I have set up strategically. I don't want all my main power running after 9 o'clock. So for me, look, this was a perfect cue. At 9 o'clock, my power cuts off unless I program it not to. Okay? There's a reason for that. Because in my head, for my lifestyle, I'm like 9 o'clock, I need to be winding down for bed. Right? 9 o'clock, I should be getting ready to go to sleep or washing my tailbone. One or the other. At 9 o'clock, I don't necessarily need to be watching the big TV. I could watch the little TV or look at my iPad. I need to conserve this power on a rainy, cloudy day for tomorrow. If I know it's raining and it's cloudy, I program it. Okay, tonight I set it for 9 o'clock. Cut all of this off. I got it set to all unnecessary things. Cut it off. A saltwater lamp. What's that? No, this is you know what this is? I don't know what a saltwater lamp is, but this is a thermocell. This is a bug not bug zapper, but this is a insect repellent thermocell. And mine just is rechargeable, and if I hit that, that's the bug repellent. Let me cut that off, matter of fact. And this is the light. No, I got a thermocell that was charging over here. See, I got emergency lights, and let me show you. Right now, I'm using my backup light right there because I don't need a whole bunch of light. It's just me and my wife in here. We don't need a whole bunch of light. And then I'll light my candles up, and I'll light my lantern. I got a lantern here, and I got a lantern I use every day. Let me show you. I got a lantern that I use every day right there, right? So when I'm telling you I conserve power at all costs, I'm not playing. Y'all was here to witness it. I have my system set up to say, okay, at a certain time, you using candles, bro. There's no reason you should be sitting here with all the lights blaring and you ain't got nothing really going on. You should be asleep. You should be trying to get some rest. No. Tonight I knew I had already said I didn't get that much sleep last night uh because somebody got sick. So I said, let me just go ahead and set my stuff so I don't have to think about it. Say I had to leave the house today. If I would have had to leave the house today, all of this would have shut itself off if I wasn't here to do it. I got it programmed all to shut off. The only things that's running now is things that has its own small little solar panel and things that has its own little battery power, little backup batteries. That's it. Flashlights, lanterns, and stuff like that. I don't run my major grid power and deplete it down to nothing. Because if I get in my phone, I could show you I could cut the power right back on. I am King says my system is huge, but I can serve at night. Absolutely. See, when you really live off solar, if you're really living off solar, number one, you learn a lot really fast. Number two, you really learn a lot about yourself and how much energy you consume and how much you waste, right? You say, I wish I would have known this before I got this Jackery 1000. It's only 21 volts. That's nothing. Um, 21 volts ain't bad. You can the problem with the Jackery 1000. Now, are you talking about the old Jackery like the one I just showed you, or a new Jackery 1000? Because if you have a newer Jackery 1000, as long as you put, because that charges fast, because I have two of them. That charges fast. So you can go ahead and put several panels in parallel so it can fast charge. That's not so bad. As long as it's able to charge fast, you okay. Trying to get this light. There we go. Now okay. Can't tell me nothing now. Look, shoo. I ain't even look romantic. Turn off the lights and light a candle. Girl, I wanna give you, oh, turn them off. And come to me. Shoot, that's shoot. Put me in a mood. Put me in a special kind of mood. Huh? Yeah. Oh, Teddy Pendergrass. Tell me what you wanna do. Tell me what you wanna do, baby. Cause you look so sweet. Yeah. Let me stop. Let me stop. See, I was telling y'all to be serious, and here I am cutting up. Yes. Come on. Woo. All right. I think we about get the message, right? Cause now I'm clowning. Um, do I have any questions at all? And then we can end it because I'm about ready to cut up, and I don't want to take y'all down there. Mark says, um, oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. Courtney says, where do you get extra cable to connect the solar panels together and then connect the generator in the house. The cables that come with the panels are short. Okay, you can go do me this favor. I'm going to give you on this video, I'm going to put the link to all of my 100-foot cords. So all you got to do is click on the link, okay? Instead of me trying to explain it and you go try to find it, I'm going to put the link to all of my 100-watt panels. 100-watt, 100-foot cables that I purchased for myself. Okay. And let me see what it's turning. Immersion detection. So you keep rechargeable strip lights and a motion detection for the house. Also for my phone and pads, I have rechargeable batteries. Oh, and you know something else? I got one more. I want to show you. Now that we're talking about something, I got one more that I totally forgot about. This goes out to every manufacturer of solar power stations and solar power generators. Do I have a suggestion for a solar crimp set? Yes, and I'll put that link in here too. This goes out to absolutely every manufacturer of solar power generators, solar stations, power stations, whatever you want to call it. You need two things. Put that DC cigarette lighter plug port back on all generators. I don't know why everybody, EcoFlow too, have been taking them off. Put it back. Because off-gridders use that and campers use that port more than you'll ever know. And believe it or not, that is one of the most important parts of a solar power station for all of us when you're camping and you're off-grid because it saves power. Okay? Now, here's another one that all manufacturers need to listen up. Put a light on the freaking generator. I don't care how big the generator is. I don't care if it powers your whole house or not. I don't care if it's something you could just throw in the trunk and behind your car seat. Put the lights back on the solar power generators like they used to do 3 and 4 years ago. I don't care how technologically advanced it is. And for everybody that kept saying that putting lights on these generators was stupid, you need your tail whip. Put lights back on the generator. And I'm going to tell you why. Y'all want to know why? Okay. Watch this. Watch this. Just keep watching. For instance, we just had a blackout, right? Let's pretend that this was a real blackout situation. I got my anchor here because this is one of my wife's. My wife, she uses this a lot, right? Now watch this. We got light because anchor. Now look how much brighter I am because anchor kept the lights on their generators. Stop removing the freaking lights off the generator because here's the problem that you encounter if you camp a lot like me or you have real blackouts like me. Even though you may have a whole house system, you still need to go in the garage or the attic to go check your system and see what's going on, right? Okay. Just because you have your whole house lit up and your system is running good, usually people don't make the power station, they don't make that part light up. They in the garage or the attic or the shed with a flashlight trying to make sure everything is right as all the fuses going. But you never attach that fuse like wherever it's at. You don't for some reason. And several people have told me about this because I did that. I never thought to connect my garage onto the same circuits with the whole house power unit. Never thought of it. But every time the power goes out and I need to go out there and make sure everything is up and running, I got a flashlight in my hand. So you need to be able to go to that doggone power station and push a button and it lights everything up. no matter what. Until you start to figure out what's going on, what's your situation, is everything gonna be okay? You know, here you go right here. Perfect example. Perfect example. Okay. So, to all manufacturers of solar power generators, please put the lights and the DC cigarette lighter ports back on the units, please. Because the real people that use these products every single day, like myself, you have no idea how much of a blessing it is when you're able to use a cigarette lighter port, which changes an AC refrigerator down to DC, and running a refrigerator on DC power lets it sip power. Instead of it using 240 watts, it's only using 35 watts. So you can run your refrigerator longer. And that's what I got to say about that, because I'm these are things that I need in my life when I'm off grid all the time or camping. Let me see. Uh Mickey says I have a cigarette lighter portable refrigerator, and I have several of them. As a matter of fact, the one when we was in a tent just a little while ago, that's what I was sitting on. I was sitting on my Bouge RV DC refrigerator. That's what I was sitting on. My EcoFlow refrigerator is in the woods inside my other tent. And I don't like hooking those up through AC. It's ridiculous. Why would you hook up a DC refrigerator and use AC when I don't even do that in the house? I would rather still take the power off of my solar power generator and plug my refrigerator up DC. I can't make this up. Everybody know I got pigs, right? Where do you think all these pigs keep going? All these pigs keep going in the freezer. I only have I have two big deep freezers, and I have the freezer on top of my refrigerator. So where are all these pigs going? Every time I process one, they go in these DC refrigerators, and I need them to be energy efficient and reliable. So I have some in my EcoFlow, what is it called? EcoFlow Glacier Classic. One of the pigs is in that. And the rest of the pigs is in all of my Bouge RV DC refrigerators. I still have all of them, and they're full of pig meat. So I need those running as efficiently as possible, because some of those are actually still running off of solar power, and I cannot have them fail. Okay, because then you're looking at 200, 300 pounds of meat go bad. Any questions? Any questions? Hey, Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner, how you doing? Auntie in the house, what's going on with you? Any questions? If not, we can go. But I just wanted to throw a couple of solar curveballs at y'all. We're going to be discussing more about energy conservation. I'm telling you right now, we're going to listen to me close. You're going to see a couple of product review videos coming out, and they will have everything to do with self sustainability and energy and saving energy. Okay, says, where do you suggest getting a solar generator from? I have a lot of generators, but I have chose to put my trust into EcoFlow. I cannot have things with little glitches and weird quirks and weird operations, and I can't have things to be sometimey. Canadian Queen says, Led, do you still like the 800-watt alternator charger? It's $600, but I will get one if it's a good idea. Now listen, I don't I don't use that alternator charger in the way that it's meant to be used, like in your vehicle. I use the EcoFlow alternator charger, and I'm trying not to give too much away. I use it to power extra batteries. I'm talking about I have some lifetime lithium batteries, like normal lithium batteries that look like car batteries. I use that to charge extra batteries. So the reason you see what y'all on the ground level of seeing what I'm working on, you're seeing more solar panels coming in, right? Okay. So I also have more batteries, regular life lithium batteries that I'm going to be making a battery bank, and my EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 is going to be charging that extra battery bank, giving me an extra 10,000 watt hours or 10 kilowatt hours of storage capacity. Because my plans is I'm going to be harvesting a lot of energy from the sun with all these panels. So I need somewhere to store that fuel. So I'm going to be using the EcoFlow alternator charger that's going to reverse the power and go and charge those batteries. And when I need those batteries to pour into my shelter, I'll hit reverse on it, and that power will come from those batteries and flow back into my cabin. So I'm not using it for travel. And I know y'all haven't seen it. That's because I got it. I was gonna do a video. I'll show you though. Okay. So you need to show us the alternator setup. I will. I will. Because I haven't talked about it enough. I really haven't. But the way I have it set up and what I'm working on, you gonna have to see this. I showed it a few times in live videos, but I really want you to see because sounds like you're recycling the energy. Not necessarily recycling the energy. I'm just trying to store as much energy as I possibly can. But I guess you're kind of right with the um, alternating of the energy. Um, are you posting from your off-grid location? Canadian Queen, I watched your video today on that. I also want to do that. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about it a little more. So that's better than buying another EcoFlow battery, right? No, no, it's not. Not necessarily because those batteries cost money too. Thank you, Canadian Queen. I appreciate you. Those batteries cost money too, right? So an extra EcoFlow extra battery holds 4,000 watt hours. So you would need to buy four of those lithium batteries and buy the cables and the wires and buy the alternator charger. See, the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm maxed out on my EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 extra batteries. I still want extra storage capacity. So that's how I'm going to be able to expand it further now. Hey, how you doing, CP Family Farming? How you doing? Good to see you. How many appliances can I run on a Delta Pro 3? That's not a real question. The that question, that's not a realistic question. Okay. Let me see. Thank you very much, creative Mary Mac. Thank you. I had to ask a few questions tonight. I'm listen, when it comes to when it comes to this subject, I'm trying my hardest to be as realistic as possible. And I don't like people talking unrealistically because it shows you don't know what you're talking about and you're going to get people confused and you're going to get people hurt. It's other people. Uh Thank you, I am king. I try. I don't like going back and forth with that nonsense. Especially when I'm talking seriously with my audience and they want real answers and they have real questions. We need to have a conversation. Little Nat. We need to have a real conversation. I try not to deal with that. Because what they I don't know why, but what they like to do is just stir up a bunch of mess and throw you off. And usually what happens is those type of entities come in and try to disturb what you got going on when people are actually moving forward or learning and something is becoming successful. They can't handle that. They need to do something to throw you off. And what I started noticing was there was a lot of people starting to listen to those people that they had no idea what they're talking about. Thank you, Suzette. Thank you. Rim says, when buying cable, should the gauge be the same? Um, I'm not gonna lie, mine aren't. Yes, they should, but mine aren't. Mm. How many watts is what, Angel Garcia? Thank you, Angie. How many watts is what? Sean DeRosa, what's up, bro? I had to remember the name. Yeah, what's going on, my brother? Says solar info is right in time. I'm thinking about adding dual fuel. Going to pick up the long cords you recommend. I'm going to be putting. Thank you for that, Yvette. Said thanks, Led. This is what I needed to see tonight. Going to watch the replay and take notes. And I'm going to tell you something else. Remember, for everybody just coming in the room, I am going to link the video in the first pinned comment and I'm going to put it in the description box and it's going to be on the end of this very video of the video of me hooking up my solar panels in parallel and in series. Okay? And all of the things I said, the 100-foot cables and the crimping tool to make your own cables. I'm going to make sure I link all of that stuff and put the links in the description box and in the first pinned comment. Okay. Patricia say, Uncle Led, just like to know for seniors for small home items, cell phone, coffee maker, computer, can you help a senior out? Thank you. You mean for solar? So let me see. Let me see. You said like a computer. The highest part thing that's going to bring the energy, that's going to use the most energy that I see is a coffee maker and the computer. I would, okay, all right, I can help. I'm going to give a suggestion, a universal suggestion, because I got a lot of people asking me, what should I get? Now remember, I'm only giving you what I feel that I couldn't do without. I am going to, and I will put my link up. Thank you for that, Brenda. Thank you. If I was just starting out, if I was just starting out and I really didn't know much about solar, but I wanted it to be as simple as possible, like plug and play, my two favorite suggestions. I could not do all of this without my EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 with the extra battery. And if that's pinching your pocket a little harder, my second that I could not do without is the EcoFlow Delta 3 Max with the extra battery. The EcoFlow Delta 3 Max, with the extra battery, you're looking at 8,000 watt hours, over 8,000 watt hours. So you're literally, the EcoFlow Delta Max is already, I think it's like almost 4,100 watt hours of storage. With that extra battery, you're dealing with almost, what is that, 82, close to 82 watt hours of storage. And it can bring in 60 volts. 60 volts, a maximum of 1,000 watts of solar. It's very versatile. You can hook them up to so many different things in the EcoFlow family, like the dual fuel smart generator. So the reason why those really breaks down to be a couple of my favorite is because you can connect them onto that dual fuel smart generator. And you can have a whole ecosystem, if you will, with just those three items. And it will run everything seamlessly. And then you can control everything on the app. And everything is so simple and in your face. It's nothing to learn. Is if you don't know anything about solar, in your app, it's going to give you all the specifications. It's going to give you all the parameters. And I'm not talking about you need to be a lawyer to read this stuff. You can be a child and it is going to read, do not exceed 60 volts. It's going to say that. It's going to say, make sure that the solar panels that you hook up are under 60 volts. So it's going to literally on this app tell you everything before you go pushing little sliding to the left and pushing little buttons. It's going to tell you what this is for. Like like I just told you, what time do you want to cut your generator off for the day? What time, I mean, how much energy do you want to be stored in here? Well, I have all of my generators set to 80%. So when they all get charged up to 80%, they stop charging because I don't want to damage the batteries. And I only want it to drop down to 30%. So when my generators drop down to 30%, they start charging again, right? Or if I'm using them, they will stop. They won't go past that 30% because that will help deplete and mess up your batteries over a period of time. But all of this is in this app where all of these other, big name brand like Anchor, for instance. I like Anchor, but Anchor is it's a little difficult for some of it. I'm be honest with you. It's not as simple and seamless. And the other thing, the reason why I like EcoFlow, because listen, there is not another manufacturer where you can connect the refrigerator, you can connect the air conditioner, and you can connect a gas generator all to your solar. And it's all running and talking to each other and seamlessly. Nothing you got to do, hands off. So my air conditioner, which is an air conditioner unit, it's like a heat pump, air conditioner slash heater, is plugged into that Delta, which my refrigerator is plugged into that Delta, and the Delta is plugged into the smart dual fuel gas generator. So it's all talking to each other and making sure all of it is running properly and it's enough energy. And if something was to happen, it's going to alert me and say, hey, you ain't getting no power. There was some sort of surge. Now, you said, let me see. Mickey says, I made a mistake by buying a new Blue Eddy because it was on sale just last year. I Next power station will be EcoFlow. And I'm not knocking Blue Eddy, but because Blue Eddy is good, Jackery is good. I will even say Pecron is good. It's a lot of good ones out there, especially nowadays. But my problem that I have is none of them have a dual fuel gas generator. None of them have a refrigerator unit. None of them have a heating and air conditioning unit that all plugs in seamless. No other company on the market does that. Now, what you hearing right now ain't because um I'm sponsored by EcoFlow. I'm telling you, you gonna ask this question. Ask this question. Why am I sponsored by EcoFlow? I'm sponsored by EcoFlow because I believe in them. I could have been, remember, I did Blue Eddy stuff. I did Jackery stuff. I did Petcron stuff. I did Oops stuff. I did it all. But it all boils down to, man, what am I using all the time though? That stuff was good. But when you're really talking about what are you using solar power for? Like what are you using it for real? If you're using it to live off grid, you need it to be flawless. You need it to work and you need it to be simple. You need is you need what's the word I'm looking for? You need it to be multi-purposed. It can't just function with just do one thing. It need to do several different things if you living off grid. Every item that you have in your off grid situation, it needs to be able to function as something else. Hey, your butter knife turned into a screwdriver, right? Your hammer turned into a weapon. That kind of thing. All right, let me see. I had a question. Says question, does your dual fuel generator use both gas and kerosene? No, it uses gasoline and propane. The dual fuel smart generator uses gasoline and propane. Sound like my pigs was laughing. Say, need to figure out how to integrate my Delta 2 with the rest of my DIY system. That alternator charger, Liz, that alternator charger can probably fix that for you. If you have other batteries or something, is what I'm talking about. If you have a system that you set up yourself, made yourself. Okay. Trust me on that one. I'll show you. I'll show you soon enough. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure everybody just, without all the distractions, everybody had a chance to talk, and I wanted to make sure that people understood some of the questions that are asked are not real questions. And I'm not saying that you're being a dummy or something. What I'm saying is there is no answer to the question that you ask, because the when you ask how many appliances can I use with an EcoFlow, that's not a question, because it's so specific. And then it's not just specific, it's also specific to your very need that you need to know. That question is so vast, it's unanswerable. Like when you say how many appliances can a Delta Pro 3 use? What are we talking about? Refrigerators, how many refrigerators can it use? If we're talking about how many refrigerators can it run, how big are these refrigerators? How many watts do they pull? How many volts and amps do they pull? You need to know that. You can't just say how many, it's not like when you're having a party or a wedding and you say how much food will we need to cater this party. We're having 12 people at the party, so we need a caterer to provide for 12 people for a 3-course meal. It doesn't work that way. It's not that cut and dry. Okay. And for instance, uh your look at your microwave. Your microwave, if you got a little bitty tiny microwave like me, like a little apartment dorm microwave, that thing uses a 960 watts when it's running, just for a microwave oven. You know, so that appliance uses that kind of wattage when you use it. Your refrigerator uses about 600 watts, and I got a little dorm style refrigerator. When the compressor comes on and then it cuts off, my hot water tank uses 1,000 watts of energy to heat my water up in my 2-gallon water tank, but it does that and then cuts off. All of this stuff you got to know. I got an ice maker that I need my ice, especially when my wife is here. The ice machine stays running. That ice machine uses anywhere from 100, like 80, what was it, 75 watts when it's making ice. And all of that's important. If I got the fan running, the fan on high uses 95 watts. How do I know all these numbers of everything that I'm telling you? I know all them numbers because I gotta pay attention when I'm charging my Ryobi batteries. To charge this Ryobi battery in the charger, this plug to the wall, this to charge this battery, it takes 346 watts to charge this up, and it's going to take about anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to charge that up. Everything that I use, I watch it and pay attention and look at the screen on my generator to see how many watts is this taking to run. Each one of these ceiling fans, when the ceiling fan is on high, I got two of them. When the ceiling fan is on high and when the light is on its brightest, each one of these ceiling fans use 45 watts apiece. So if I got both fans running and both lights on high, that's using 90 watts of power. And I calculate that. If I'm using 90 watts per hour, then I got 1,000 watts. This will run for 10 hours. And you're constantly doing calculations with everything you have running, right? So you have to be aware of your usage. Where most people, I'm going to say almost 100% of people, are not aware of how much energy they use on a daily basis, because hitting a switch is like using a credit card. You don't think about it. You just know that that power is going to come on. Let me see. CP Family Farm says you're going to need to know if you're going to get enough solar energy the next day. Absolutely. Thank you for that, CP Family Farming. You're going to instantly turn into a weatherman, because every single day you're not necessarily looking for the weather. It now with me for gardening too. You're not just looking to see if it's going to rain, to see if you're going to get enough water for your garden. You're also making sure, hey, it's going to rain tomorrow. That means I'm not going to get that much solar power, if any, tomorrow. So you're constantly conserving. If I know all week it's going to be 90 degrees and sunny and no clouds in the sky, you're going to see me stunting. Okay, I'm going to be playing the music. I'm going to be watching TV. I'm going to let the hot water tank stay on. I'm going to be making my ice. I'm going to cut my refrigerator up to the coldest setting, because I know I'm going to have a surplus of energy. But if I see it's going to be clouds in the forecast coming up in a day or two, I'm going to start conserving. I'm going to be cutting way back. It's going to be a lot more candle usage going on. Missy Hawk says, think of exactly what you need in an emergency, what's absolutely essential. Live Farm 73, I watch your old videos over and over, taking notes till I got it before buying my first generator. Take notes, everybody. Absolutely. When you hearing this kind of information, let me see. We need to write it down. Thank you for that. Wish I could. Nala. I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. So still a beginner and know so very little, but I have been waiting for this video information, learn and continue to learn so much from you. Well, we're going to be doing. Uh, we're going to be doing more of these videos, and the reason why we're going to be doing more of these energy conservation videos, and because we're in a bad way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it does get a little irritating when I get the trolls and stuff in. But this is something that we're going to have to do, or it's going to be a lot of people in trouble when gas is starting to hit $10 in California and hit $5 in the Carolinas and $7 in Florida. Man, we're at a breaking point, and this is why I took my last little bit of money and I told my wife, I said, baby, I got to get some more solar panels. I got to get more solar panels, because the way it's going out here, we're going to be using the solar power that we have to power electric bikes and electric motorcycles to get stuff done, because we're not going to be always able to just drive everywhere when gas prices are through the roof. I mean, being realistic, you can't do it. Not in this economy where all the people are losing their jobs on a daily basis. And then the people that's not losing their jobs because of crazy stuff that's going on, you still got to worry about AI replacing you. So in a minute, nobody's going to be working anywhere. And the only few people that are going to be working are the ones that's going to be the ones working to keep the AIs functioning and the robots functioning. Everybody else gonna be sitting here twiddling their thumbs. So what I'm preparing for that day to come, which is already really here. Really, let's be realistic. We're living in the day and time where we're actually seeing on a daily basis struggle, desperation, And you can't sit here and pretend it's not happening because it's happening to me and you. Let's talk about one more. Y'all know this virus. I don't even want to talk about that. Y'all know this sickness. We ain't going to talk about it in depth. Just call it the sickness. They got another cruise ship in the middle of the ocean full of a bunch of sick people. And they starting to let people come to shore again. Like this didn't happen 6 years ago. Almost to the day. So not only do we have to worry about economic problems, we're also going to go back into social distancing because the people that's in charge and in control of getting a handle on this new virus are the same people that let that virus run rampant last time. And they kept telling everybody, it ain't nothing to worry about. It's no big deal. Oh, it's just a hoax from the other political party. It's just a hoax until millions of people passed away and lost their lives. So not only are we dealing with an economic crisis, we're also dealing with an international crisis and now we're dealing with another pandemic situation. Everything we're dealing with loss of jobs, AI taking over, robots taking over, a new pandemic on the horizon, energy prices through the roof, gas prices through the roof. Nobody got no money. And nobody can afford food. But they cut off all the Medicare, cut off all the Medicaid, cut off all the doggone health insurance. What do you think is going to happen to the people? Like, man, they hitting us from all sides. And everybody that's sitting around thinking this is a joke, man, good luck. Good luck. I'm doing everything in my power. Can I show y'all something I did today? Just to be plain, I did it in the rain, right? Watch this. True story. True story. This is so serious to me. I took I took a sucker and pinched it off of my tomato plant out there growing in my little raised bed gardens. And I just put it in a little hydroponic basket so it can start rooting down in this water. And I may replant it or I may just leave it like this. But what I'm trying to do is multiply and duplicate. I bought one plant, but I'm going to duplicate it and turn it into at least 10 different plants instead of me keep spending my money on a bunch of tomato plants. Buy one and pinch off all the suckers. So my first plant, tomato plant, I call it the sacrificial plant. Missy said I need to take the suckers off my tomato. Do it. My first plant was the sacrificial plant, and I'm just pulling suckers off of it as they grow and put them aside and make a whole new plant. Now, my first plant gonna look a little stringy at first, but I'm not worried about that one. It's gonna keep giving me these babies over and over and over again. That's gonna keep producing food instead of without spending tons of money. So I just did this just because it was raining and I looked out at my plant. It was looking so healthy. I said, let me go pinch off one of these. And I'm not going to make no video on that because I can't videotape and record absolutely everything. This stuff is important to us. Do you have cherry trees? Yes, I do. Yes, vegetables can reproduce themselves. All you got to do is pinch off a sucker. It doesn't work that well with peppers, but tomatoes all day long. Let me see. Back porch gardener, how you doing? Hey, not in my time. Let me see. Say, I heard food prices were increasing more last night and immediately went to the garden to prepare. Hey, said you just called your Honda dealership and the help desk answered and it was AI. That's everywhere. That's everything now. You ain't talking to no more real people. Hey Sylvia, how you doing? Hey Natasha, how you doing? Say imagine you build a tough shed barrack around your home, growing your own veggies and fruits is a plus, but also have to protect them as well. Absolutely. Thank you, not in my time. Appreciate you. So thank you for that, country boy. Appreciate you. So this is what I'm talking. The reason I'm doing this video tonight, and it is a long video, is because man, it's important. It's important right now. And I know some people are still listen, if you still don't know what's going on, you in a lot of trouble. And some people say, those are scare tactics. If you scared, go to church. If you scared because you didn't do what you listen, if you are scared because you've been knowing like everybody else in this country what's been going on for the last 10 years, 8 years, and you still haven't made preparations to get yourself together and get your family together, we have not recovered from 2019, 2020. We still ain't even close to recovering from that. Just to get this mug right back and make it even worse. But everybody keep thinking. Here's the problem I have. People are too trusting in man, and that's the problem. They're too trusting in a man that likes to lie instead of man. Let me. I don't care if I like you or not. I don't care if I'm riding for you. Let me do a little bit of my own research. Even when y'all listening to me, I don't know everything. Hell, I just found out some stuff about voltage today. I mean, yesterday. So to me, you have to do your own due diligence. You have to put your head in the game and start asking real questions. You can't just go off somebody keep telling you everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be all right. Every I don't listen. I don't trust nobody. Did you hear me? I did not stutter, and I know what's on your mind. I don't trust nobody. That ain't got nothing to do with friendships. That ain't got nothing to do with love, life, and relationships. But I'm always like, look, I came in this world by myself, and I'm going to leave this world by myself. I don't care how you cut it. So what that's telling you in nature's own voice is, man, it's going to come down to sometime it's just going to be you in the fight. It's only going to be you that can depend on you. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care if you've been married for 40 years. It's going to be times in your life where ain't nobody going to be there to help you. Ain't nobody going to be there to have your back. Whether they want to or not, it's going to be times that's going to either take you from your birth to your death. You came in this world by yourself. You're going to leave by yourself. And believe it or not, sometimes throughout between the two situations, it's going to be times where you there by yourself. When you on your first day of school, when you went into kindergarten, your mama had to go. And that one time taught me a lot. Now I was a little baby boy, but I did learn something in that very first week of starting school in kindergarten. And that was, nobody is here to help you. Your mama is miles away at the house watching Gilligan's Island and Price is Right. You in here with a bunch of strangers, and you're supposed to trust this old lady to say she's the teacher, but you can't look back and look at your mom and say, is she cool? Nope. That's when you have to start using your own judgment of, I don't like this kid. This kid is a weirdo. I'm going to stay away from this one because this kid stink. And this lady, she really seems like she don't like me very much. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut around her. Your mama ain't there to tell you none of that. Your daddy ain't there to tell you none of that. As a child in kindergarten, you start to figure out, I'm by myself, I'm alone, and it's time for me to make my own decisions until I'm back with my mom and dad. That's what I mean by I don't trust nobody, because it's going to be times when you sitting through a job interview, your wife ain't there to hold your hand and tell you it's going to be all right, you're going to get the job. It's just going to be you and the employer sitting across the desk from each other, and you're the one that's going to have to sell yourself to this employer to let them know that you're the right person for the job. Ain't nobody else there rubbing your shoulders and stroking your hair. It's going to be times in your life where you are going to be the only one depending on you. And that's where we are right now. You have to do your due diligence to make a lot of this stuff work, because it's going to be time. Ain't no, I'm not going to say it in a negative way, because I was about to say some people ain't going to want to help you. But it's going to be times where nobody can help you. It's going to be times in your life where ain't nobody going to be around to hand you a screwdriver while you on a ladder. They ain't going to be able to reach up and give you the doggone hammer while you standing up on a ladder. You're going to have to do that yourself. So, to me, that's where we are right now in the world. Nobody's going to stand over you and make you go read a book on herbs and medicinal herbs and stuff. Nobody's going to stand over you and tell you how to do solar and connect solar power so you can live for free. Nobody's going to tell you how to drill a well so you can get water. Nobody's going to tell you how to buy a shed, where to buy a shed, where to buy solar panels. You have to stop watching freaking TV. Take an hour out of your day. No, I'm not even going to do you that hard. This goes for everybody. Take 30 minutes out of every day next week and dedicate that. Write it on a list and dedicate that 30 minutes to whatever subject matter that you need to learn about. Write it down. Write 7 days What do you want to be learning about? Solar power on for Monday. Tuesday, digging a well. Wednesday, uh how to forage and herbal, so on and so forth. And every single day. You can make all 7 days about solar if you want to. But make sure you just use 30 punk minutes to put some knowledge in your head. I'm not talking about necessarily watching no videos. Read, research, take notes. 30 minutes. That's how you gonna learn it. It really is. Listening to people like me, you might not get it because I might be telling it to you in a way that you don't understand. Right? So that's why you got to do a little bit of this stuff yourself. Gardening, same thing. You can't just listen to other gardeners on what you should do. Man, go out there and go try to start. If you scared to start seeds, go buy a plant. And for everybody keeps saying only buy heirloom seeds, stop saying that. Stop saying that. I know why people keep saying buy heirloom seeds. Stop saying that. Tell people to add heirloom seeds to their seed collection. Don't tell people to do not buy other seeds. What you're telling people is they're going to starve to death if they can't find heirloom seeds. And now I got another problem with that. Is this: how do you know that these are heirloom seeds? You're trusting the same system that put these words on this packet that got all this other creepy stuff going on. I don't trust nobody. That's why I be like, when people say, "Led, are those heirloom?" Who cares? You will say you need heirloom seeds and sit out here and go get a double cheeseburger, and you don't even, and they done already told you about 5 years ago, this ain't even real meat. But you worried about heirloom seeds so I can replant them. I ain't never bought no heirloom seeds on purpose. Listen to me real close. I ain't never bought no heirloom seeds on purpose. If I ended up with some heirloom seeds, it's because they was on sale or that was the only kind of particular seed that I saw that I needed and I couldn't find it anywhere else. I don't give a damn about that. Because I don't trust these packets. I don't trust the words on this packet. I don't trust the word sugar free. I don't trust the word fat free. I don't trust the word no carb. I don't trust the words no MSG. You reading these bottles, we reading these bottles, but we keep getting sick. We doing everything right, so we think the only right thing you're doing is reading the bottles. But that don't mean that they're keeping their end of the bargain. That's why I got a problem. And I done seen a lot of people get discouraged because they can't find heirloom seeds, so they won't buy none and they won't start no plant. And I also see people won't even go to the store and buy a starter plant just so they can get started because they like, no, that might be GMO. How do you know? You don't. You don't know nothing. You only know what people tell you that ain't got your best interests at heart in the first place. My take on it, and it's always been, man, just grow some damn food. Just grow your own food. Grow your own, eat your own. It don't matter. We're going through, look what's going on in the world. And everybody getting picky sticky about heirloom seeds. I don't, and because you can get this same plant every single time with heirloom seeds. That's true. The problem is Will that actually happen? And the other problem is when this plant goes to seed, here you go. I got one for you. We've been using the same okra seeds, and I think I don't got them here. They're at the house. Me and my wife have been using the same okra seeds. And I remember way back in them days, that package did not say heirloom. We have been replanting the same okra seeds since 2010, since 2010. The reason why I was going to grab a pod because my wife got them on the kitchen table at the house. That's why I thought they'd be here, but I'm thinking about the house. Same seed pods. And the same plant keeps growing every single time we plant them. I think everybody is doing themselves a disservice and discouraging themselves for absolutely no reason, for shit they don't even know what they're doing. You're telling people that don't even know how to garden to only buy one kind of seed. And the next thing you know, they ain't started a garden because they said they can't find heirloom seeds for the vegetable that they're looking for when they don't even know what they're doing in the first place. I'm sorry. I'm just not that. I'm not a and I am against the major corporations that make all these chemicals and put all these chemicals in the vegetation and stuff. I am. But who's to say that they are or they're not just because you bought something with an extra word on it? How many times, true story. I told you they play with words so much I don't trust nobody. Okay. When you go to the produce market, they have a word to say organic, and the price for the organic stuff uh is double the price for this organic vegetables and fruit over here. And over here is the regular food, and the price is nickels and dimes. I have seen with my own eyes people take food from the normal side and put it on the organic side. Now, I don't know if they just didn't know what they were doing or not, but people came along and purchased it. So you just took the same damn uh, rack of bananas that's 35 cents a pound and then put them in the organic rack that's $1.25 a pound. And somebody come along and buy it. How do you know? I'm sorry, y'all. Everybody is just entirely way too damn trusting to me. For me, I can't. I'm gonna get these. Ooh, now that I think about it, I think I do got some bananas. I could use a nice sweet banana. You can't tell the difference between seeds. You can't tell the difference. All you going off of is what somebody wrote on this package. Just like a fruit tree. The fruit tree got a universal tag on it that say the zone, how you should take care of it, and how you should plant it. It's universal. But every tree is different for every situation, for every climate, for every grow zone. But they still got the same doggone tag on every single tree across the country. I don't pay attention to that tag like that. I listen to the tree. How is it doing in this spot? Not very well, or it's doing very well. I listen to the tree. That tag don't mean jack. You know what they tell you? They tell you, and they sell a lot of these honey crisp apple tree. all over South Carolina. Every Home Depot, every Lowe's, every Tractor Supply try to sell you a Honeycrisp apple tree. That Honeycrisp apple tree, if it ever produces fruit, it's going to look like a baby toenail. It may produce fruit, about 2 or 3 of them, and they going to always look like baby toenails. I'm talking about the baby toenails from an athlete. They'll never be proper fruit like if they were grown up north. If that Honeycrisp apple tree was grown up north in a different grow zone, that thing gonna take off and be just everything you ever wanted it to be. It will not do well in the south. Period. But that sticker on that tree tells you it'll be fine here. It's the same sticker in Ohio, it's the same sticker in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida. Ask me how I know. And in Georgia. I had, you know how many Honeycrisp apples I've had planted in different locations since I lived in the South, from Atlanta, Georgia to Kennesaw, Georgia to Columbia, South Carolina to Decatur, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been all over this place and planted that same dumbass tree, and it always gives you that baby toenail apple. If you get one, it'll take forever. Baby toenail fall off, bloop, and a worm come out of it. Hello, I'm not eating that. That's why I don't trust these manufacturers, man. Everything is mass produced. Now, if I'm talking to a professional at a nursery, or I'm buying something from a nursery where their profession is this, I'll trust them a lot more than going to an orange big box store or a blue big box store where everything is just, they don't even water the damn trees. You know what I'm saying? They don't even water them, man. But they're telling you they know what they're doing. And these trees is heirlooms. And man. Let me stop. We'll come back. We'll come back. Let me release these videos on a couple of these energy saving products. And then we're going to talk more about energy conservation. Okay. And energy electric transportation. That's going to be a highlight of all next week. I'm going to be talking about, because we need to talk about it. All right. Solar power generators. And okay, before I go, is 580 people in here. Before I go, I have one question for everybody, and before, I want you to answer it for me. How many people have a solar power generator? And tell me what kind it is. Like a Delta EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 or EcoFlow Delta 3. Everybody, please tell me what kind of solar power generator you have. Be specific, because I got an idea. A Pecron FLP 5000. That's a good one. You have that. So that's the older model with the big adapter, the power adapter brick. Okay. Say a EcoFlow Delta Pro 3. Okay. Yvette say that. And one J said EcoFlow Delta 3 Ultra Plus. Okay. What kind, CP Family Farming? C. Francis says EcoFlow River 3 Plus, Delta 2, and Delta 3 Plus and Pro. Okay. Uh, Admire says EcoFlow Delta 2. Okay. Superior says EcoFlow Delta Pro. All right. Um, Let me see. Okay. Polar Bear Shell Anchor C1000. That's what's over here right now. Let me see. All these blessings says I have an EcoFlow Delta Pro 2 Plus, a DIY, and just ordered an eco worthy system. Okay. Reveal says the EcoFlow River with the extra battery on each. Okay. Two EcoFlow River with extra batteries. TLC, the EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus, the EcoFlow River 2, and Jackery 240 and a van power. Okay. Big Bad Bow dual Delta Pro 3s with 50 amp hub. Okay. Adrian EcoFlow Delta Pro 3, two EcoFlow Delta 3 Classics. Let me see. Country Boy says I do three DJI 1000s. Oh man, they really dropped the ball on that. And I just got a Pecron F3000. Okay, let me see. Exceptional exception to the rules says Delta Pro, Delta 2 Max, Delta 2. Louisiana West EcoFlow Delta 2 with solar panel waiting to get a backup battery. Steph Joe, I have the original Delta Pro. That's still a great machine. The Delta Pro 3 with the extra battery, Delta 2, Delta Max 1600, and APEC. Okay. Suzette says EcoFlow Delta Max 2 and 3. Okay. Rhonda 308, a Greasel EB 300. I think I've heard of that. 901 Baby Boy says EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 and Smart Generator 4000. Okay. Okay. That's the dual fuel Smart Generator 4000. Okay. Let me see. EcoFlow Delta Max. Steph says, oh, my phone about to cut off. I've been on that long. Oh my God. And this list goes on and on. Okay. We all get the message. It's the reason why I'm asking y'all this. I have an idea and it's going to be up to you. My idea is this. Now that everybody told me what you have, how many people need help setting it up? How many people need help setting that equipment up? That's why I just asked you the question of what you got. If don't nobody need help setting up their system, we can move on. Rhonda says me. Yvette says me. My Don. Okay. All right. So I got two people so far. Everybody else, okay, exception to the rule. You need help. Uzel, I need help. Okay. Revealed light say I can take what I get. Suzette says yes. Will says I need help. I have 7 100-watt Harbor Freight panels. Okay. Will, um, on those 7 100 Harbor Freight panels, do you have the SAE connectors or have you changed it over to the MC4 connectors? Okay. My Don, Nalia, TLC need advice for the rigid panels only. Okay. Half foldable. Oh yeah. Yes. Those foldables should just be for travel. And the only foldables I got out there like that is ones that I done beat them so bad that I don't care if they go bad. Okay, Suzette says yes, especially the solar panels. Big Bad Bo says I want to know about your batteries. Yes, I need help. Okay, I haven't changed them over. Got the few weeks. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take some time out. Let me think. What is today? Thursday, basically Friday. Friday. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Tuesday, and I need to write it down. Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm even going to set the video up. We're going to do a StreamYard. If you need help setting up your system, have your system ready because we're going to go live and I'm going to help you because I'm going to have a small system too. And I'm going to show you step by step how to hook this stuff up. I'm going to be using my equipment, but it's no different than yours. It don't matter what brand you have, unless you have a Jackery with a 8mm barrel plug or something. But I'll still have that on the tap ready just in case somebody come in here with a jackery system. Okay. If you have, we're going to do this Tuesday. All hippie girl, StreamYard, it means that I'm going to be on a platform where you going to come up, me and you going to be on the same screen, and I can talk to you and see you, and you're going to show me your actual equipment, and me and you together, hands on, are going to hook this up. I'm going to be answering your questions live, and everybody is going to be watching. That's what StreamYard is. Okay. Is it possible to do it? No, I'm gonna do it Tuesday because that's the time I'm gonna have to do it. So Tuesday at 3 p.m. If I don't have anybody that wants to do it, we'll just call it a wash. But I always do this and I try it and don't nobody want to come on the panel and then I just cut the video off. It's not hurting me. I'm trying my best to help as many people as I can. They done spent thousands of dollars on equipment and you don't even know how to use it yet. So I'm trying my hardest to help you start utilizing that free energy that you have. You have a gold mine and you don't even know it. You got a gold mine in the closet or out in the garage just sitting there. Okay. So I hope you can join me Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern because that's when we're going to be doing it. And for everybody that say they ain't going to be able to make it because they're going to be at work a little late, I got a feeling it's going to be a long video. So you may be able to jump in there somewhere. Okay. I got a feeling it's at least going to be 2 hours because we're going to be hands on. And that's not just me running off at the mouth. It's literally, we're going to be step by step. And I'm going to do something that I never do. I may have several people on the panel. Now, that way you'll feel a little bit more confident about what you're doing. Okay? If it's just me and you kind of get a little nervous. If everybody is on the panel doing the same thing together, right? And it ain't just going to be me talking, all of us will be there. Okay. So with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and have a good night. My puppy done fell asleep. She over here knocked out, curled up like a mink stove. So everybody, enjoy your night, and I hope we got something out of this tonight because I actually enjoyed it. I like talking about solar. I like talking about energy conservation in the first place, even if there wasn't a big problem going on right now. Okay. So with that being said, I hope to see you Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern during the StreamYard, and I hope you want to come up on the panel so I can actually help people get stuff squared away. All right. And if you don't be able to make it live, you'll be able to get that replay and see what other people learn. And remember, before I go, I'm going to be linking the crimping tool to make your own solar wires or to make your SAE or your can't think of it into an MC4 connector that's more standard. I'm going to be putting a link to the 100-foot solar cable so you can put your solar cables 100 feet away from your system. And it was something else. I'll think of it, but I'm going to make sure. Oh, and I'm going to be linking the videos to parallel versus in series, the video I did a couple years ago. Very hands-on, and I made it as simple as possible. So I'm going to give you all of that in this video. All right. So come back and check it out and make sure you click on those links and click on the video with solar versus parallel that will help you in the meantime. All right. So with that being said, hey, Live Farmer 73, I love y'all. Be safe. Stay sane. And I'm out. Good night. Peace.